Welcome to Who's Wrong. If you're into messy stories, blurred morals, and moments that make you stop and ask, wait, who's actually wrong here? You're in the right place. Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next story. Now let's get into it. Am I the jerk for not reading my ex's goodbye letter on her deathbed? Okay, so this just happened. It's still really fresh. My ex, Sarah, she died last week. Leukemia. It was aggressive. We broke up 5 years ago, really messy, totally burned bridges. Like nuclear fallout messy. I hadn't spoken to her since. Not a text, not a call, nothing. Then I get a call from her sister, Hannah. Hannah and I were never close, but she was crying, saying Sarah was in hospice, not long left. Sarah apparently asked for me, specifically. Said she had a letter for me. My stomach dropped. I mean 5 years. 5 years of silence. And now this, I went. I felt like I had to. Not for Sarah, maybe for Hannah, or just to put a period on it all. I walked into that sterile room, the air thick with disinfectant and unspoken grief. Sarah was barely recognizable, pale, thin, tubes everywhere, but her eyes still her eyes. She looked at me, a faint smile. Hannah was there, a few other family members I vaguely remembered. It was all very somber. She just gestured to the bedside table. There was an envelope, thick, cream-colored, with my name written in her familiar cursive. My heart was pounding. She wanted you to read it, Hannah whispered, her voice cracking. She said it would explain things. I picked it up. My fingers trembled. I looked at Sarah, then at the envelope. All those years of pain, of resentment, of trying to forget. It all came rushing back like a tidal wave. The fights, the accusations, the way she left me for someone else, the way she packed her bags and just vanished. I took a deep breath. I could feel everyone watching me, expecting me to open it, to read it, to perform some kind of cinematic reconciliation at her literal deathbed. But I couldn't. I just couldn't. I looked at Sarah again. Her eyes were still on me, waiting. And in that moment, all I could see was the woman who broke my heart, who shattered my trust, who left me in pieces. Not the dying woman in front of me, but the one who caused so much pain. I felt a cold resolve settle over me. I can't, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I put the letter back on the table, unopened. Hannah gasped. A few other people shifted uncomfortably. Sarah's faint smile faltered. Her eyes, those same beautiful eyes that used to light up when they saw me, now just looked empty. Devastated, even. I didn't say anything else. I nodded to Hannah, a quick, almost imperceptible gesture of apology for the awkwardness. Then I turned and walked out. I didn't look back. I got in my car, drove away, and haven't looked at her letter since. It's still sitting on my kitchen counter, pristine, unopened. Part of me feels like an absolute monster. She was dying. She wanted to say something, anything. But another part of me, the part that nursed those wounds for so long, feels like I protected myself, like I drew a boundary. I didn't owe her closure, not after everything. So what do you think? Was I the jerk for not reading her goodbye letter, even though she asked me to on her deathbed? Commenter 1 said, "No way op, you did the right thing. Closure goes both ways." Commenter 2 said, "Damn. What if that letter changes everything though?" Commenter 3 said, "I'm mad at her, but I also get it. Hurt doesn't just vanish on a hospital bed." Who's wrong? My girlfriend for having an emotional affair, or me for reading her private journal? So this is a mess. I don't even know where to start. My girlfriend, Emily, we've been together for 3 years. Lately, things have been off, distant. She's been spending a lot of time on her phone, gets defensive if I ask who she's texting. The usual red flags, you know. Last night, she left her journal on the coffee table. She writes in it every night. Not like a diary, more like reflections. Thoughts. I've never read it, never even thought about it. I respect her privacy completely, but something about how she just left it there, open to a random page, was different. It felt almost like she wanted me to see something. I picked it up. My heart was thumping against my ribs. It felt wrong, really wrong, but my gut was screaming. I flipped it open to where it was marked, and there it was. Entry after entry about Mark. Mark, a new colleague of hers, she mentioned him a few times. He's really nice. We have good chats. Innocent stuff, right? Wrong. These entries, they weren't innocent. She wrote about his smile, about how he gets her in a way I apparently don't. She described their long lunches, the inside jokes, the way they linger after meetings. It wasn't physical cheating. She explicitly wrote about how she'd never crossed that line. But the emotional intimacy, it was practically tangible on the page. She wrote about feeling understood by him, about a spark she hadn't felt in ages. She even wrote one entry that said, "I wish my name looked at me the way Mark does." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. All the air left my lungs. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the journal. This wasn't just a crush. This was an emotional affair, clear as day. All the distance, the phone addiction, the defensiveness, it all clicked into place. I put the journal back exactly where I found it. My mind was racing. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't accuse her because I only knew about it because I violated her privacy. But I couldn't unknow it either. It's eating me alive. She came home an hour later, oblivious. She smiled at me a little too brightly and asked about my day. I just mumbled something, trying to act normal, trying to hide the earthquake rumbling inside me. I haven't confronted her. I don't know how. I feel like such a hypocrite. I invaded her private thoughts. But at the same time, she was betraying me emotionally with someone else. Is betrayal worse when it's uncovered dishonestly? Who's actually wrong here? Me for reading her journal, or her for having this whole secret emotional life with another guy? Commenter 1 said, "You can't be mad at the truth you dug up yourself." Commenter 2 said, "She didn't cheat, but emotionally." That's another story. Commenter 3 said, "Both are wrong. This is just a slow-motion breakup." Am I wrong for destroying a journal that detailed my family's secrets, even if it belonged to someone else? Okay, this is rough. Really, really rough. My grandmother, bless her heart, passed away a few months ago at 92. She was a legend, full of stories, but always very private about certain things. We all just assumed some things were better left unsaid. Well, after she passed, her house had to be cleared out. My cousin Maria was helping. Maria is, well, she's a bit of a snoop, always has been. She found a locked box in my grandmother's old Hope chest. Inside, there was a journal. It wasn't Nana's handwriting, but it was old, leather-bound. Maria, of course, picked the lock. She started reading it out loud, seriously. Out loud. She was finding all these juicy, dramatic details about our family. Things from before my grandmother was even born, about my great-grandparents. Affairs, hidden children, scandalous inheritances, stuff that would be a bombshell if it got out. This journal wasn't just a private record. It named names. Actual living relatives. It had details that would absolutely shatter certain family members, expose decades-old lies, and frankly, ruin reputations. One entry, in particular, was about my aunt's true parentage, a secret my aunt has lived with her entire life, believing one thing when the journal revealed something else entirely. It was huge. It wasn't Maria's story to tell, or even my grandmother's. It felt like someone else's deeply personal, painful history. Maria was cackling, seriously. She thought it was hilarious, this deep, dark family lore. She even said, "Oh my God, I have to post this on Facebook." My stomach turned. I could feel the blood draining from my face. This was not funny. This was explosive. I begged her to stop. I told her it wasn't right, that these were deeply personal matters that could hurt people. She just laughed and said, "Lighten up. It's just history." But it wasn't just history. It was a ticking time bomb. I could already see her phone in her hand, typing away. I knew she was serious. She was going to blast these secrets all over social media for a laugh. Something in me just snapped. I don't even remember fully deciding. It was pure instinct. I lunged forward, grabbed the journal out of her hands, and before she could even react, I ripped it apart. Page by page, I just shredded it. threw the pieces into the fireplace right there in front of her. Her jaw dropped. She screamed, "What did you do? That was historical. You destroyed family history." I just stood there, breathing heavily, my hands shaking. I didn't say anything. I just watched the remnants of those secrets smolder. She's furious. She thinks I'm a monster for destroying something that wasn't mine, something that could have been heritage. But I felt like I was protecting our family from unimaginable pain and public humiliation. I protected my aunt's fragile sense of belonging. Is protecting yourself ever worth risking someone else's truth? Is it wrong to destroy something that could expose such devastating secrets, even if it means burying history that wasn't meant to be shared? Commenter 1 said, "I want to judge her, but I also want to know what was in that entry." Commenter 2 said, "She might have destroyed the only lead. That's unforgivable." Commenter 3 said, "Yeah, but if exposing yourself means losing your identity, what's left?" Who's wrong? My best friend for asking me to lie for her promotion, or me for telling the truth? Here's the thing. My best friend, Chloe, and I have been inseparable since kindergarten. We've been through everything. I love her like a sister. And because of that, this whole situation is tearing me apart. Chloe works at this massive corporate law firm. She's been busting her butt for years, trying to get partner. It's her dream, her entire life goal. She finally got an interview for a senior partner position. It's a huge deal. The problem is, a few months ago, Chloe made a pretty significant error on a client dossier. It wasn't malicious, just a really dumb oversight that cost the firm a lot of time and money and almost jeopardized a major case. She managed to cover it up mostly. Her direct superior, a man named Mr. Davies, absorbed most of the blame and took one for the team, even though he knew it was Chloe's screw-up. He's a good guy, surprisingly. Well, during her interview for the partner position, she was asked about her leadership qualities and her ability to handle pressure, specifically asking about any professional mistakes and how she learned from them. She completely omitted that incident. She spun it into some story about a minor disagreement with a junior associate and how she mentored them. Then they called me. This is where it gets messy. I also work at the same firm, different department. I was put down as a professional reference because Chloe and I had worked on some parallel projects. I got a call from HR asking about Chloe's problem-solving skills, her integrity, all the standard reference questions. They specifically asked me about that incident, the one with Mr. Davies. They asked if I had any knowledge of significant errors Chloe made and how they were handled. Chloe had called me just an hour before, frantic. She knew they might ask. She begged me, absolutely begged me, to back up her story. "Please, just say you don't know anything about it," she pleaded. "Say it was a very minor misunderstanding if they press." This is my one shot. My heart was in my throat. My best friend asking me to outright lie for her career. My career, my reputation, my integrity were also on the line if I got caught. But more than that, it just felt wrong. I believe in honesty, always, even when it's hard. I paused on the phone with HR. It felt like an eternity. I could hear Chloe's voice in my head pleading. I could see her face, the years of hard work, the dreams. But I also thought about Mr. Davies, who took the fall for her. I thought about the ethics of the firm, the trust. "Yes," I said, my voice steady, even though my hands were shaking. "I am aware of the incident concerning the client dossier." I then calmly, professionally, explained what happened, emphasizing that it was a mistake made by Chloe and how she had initially handled it. I also made sure to say that she had learned from it and that Mr. Davies had been incredibly supportive. I tried to be as neutral as possible, factual, not emotional. The HR person just said, "Thank you for your honesty." The call ended. I haven't told Chloe yet. I don't know how. I feel sick to my stomach. I know I probably just torpedoed her promotion, maybe even her career, potentially our friendship. But I couldn't lie. I just couldn't. Is honesty always noble, or can it be a betrayal too? Who's wrong here? My best friend for asking me to lie, or me for telling the truth that could ruin her dream. Commenter 1 said, "You were right to protect your ethics, not her lies." Commenter 2 said, "But what if it was just a one-time mistake, 20 years down the drain?" Commenter 3 said, "I've been the friend asked to lie. It never ends well." Am I the jerk for revealing a family secret that I was explicitly asked to keep quiet? So, this is complicated. My cousin Maya has always been my closest family member, more like a sister. About 6 months ago, Maya told me something huge, something really deeply personal and dark about our family. It involves her father, my uncle, and a secret child he had 30 years ago with another woman. This child, a son, was given up for adoption and has no idea who his biological father is. My uncle coerced Maya's mother into keeping it silent their entire marriage. Only Maya and her mother knew the full truth. My aunt, Maya's mom, found out on her deathbed. Just before she passed, she told Maya and made Maya promise to never tell anyone, especially not her father. She didn't want to destroy the family and the legacy my uncle had built, even if it was built on a lie. Maya trusted me. She needed to tell someone, and she told me with the same condition, absolute secrecy. I understood why the secret was kept. My uncle, a very respected, well-known figure in our community, would have his entire life and reputation destroyed. His marriage to my aunt, a seemingly perfect union, would be exposed as a sham built on deceit. The family stability, the kids, everyone would be collateral damage. But here's the kicker. The biological son, Daniel, recently started working at a company that directly contracts with my uncle's business. Through a mutual connection, I met Daniel. And let me tell you, the resemblance was undeniable. Not just general similar features, but specific mannerisms, a particular way he tilted his head, even a faint birthmark on his wrist that my uncle has. It was like looking at a younger version of my uncle. I found myself chatting with Daniel multiple times. He's a good guy, really genuine. He talked about being adopted, about feeling like a piece of his identity was missing, how he wished he knew his birth parents. He wasn't angry, just curious, searching. My heart just ached for him. He deserves to know. He has a right to know his true parentage. I watched him. I thought about Maya's promise. I thought about the chaos it would unleash. But then I looked at Daniel, this kind, searching man, unknowingly working almost alongside his own father. The injustice of it just burned inside me. The lie was too big, too foundational. I went home that night and I couldn't sleep. The secret felt like a heavy stone in my chest. I called Maya. I told her everything. How I met Daniel, how similar they were, how he was searching for answers. I told her I couldn't keep it anymore. I told her I was going to tell Daniel. She was horrified. "You promised," she screamed. "You swore to Mom, you'll destroy Dad, you'll destroy everything." I told her I had to, that it wasn't fair to Daniel. That the truth, even if painful, deserved to see the light of day. She hung up on me, furious. The next day I contacted Daniel. I met him for coffee. I laid it all out. I told him everything I knew about his biological father, about my uncle, about Maya, everything Maya's mom told her. I told him he had a half-sister. I gave him enough information so he could seek out more if he chose to. He was stunned, absolutely floored. He asked a million questions. He was shocked, but there was also this relief in his eyes, like a puzzle piece finally clicked into place. He thanked me repeatedly, tears in his eyes. I'm terrified of the fallout. My uncle is going to lose everything. Maya is not speaking to me. My family might disown me. But Daniel knows the truth. When someone you love trusts you with a secret, does that make it yours to keep? Am I the jerk for revealing this family secret, betraying Maya's trust and my aunt's dying wish, even though I believe Daniel deserved to know the truth? Commenter 1 said, "She had every right. Secrets destroy families." Commenter 2 said, "I get why she did it, but was it her call to make?" Commenter 3 said, "Lies like that rot everything. She pulled the band-aid, someone had to." Am I wrong for quitting my job in silence after being constantly overlooked? and then refusing to attend my own farewell party. So I worked at this company for 7 years. 7 years. I busted my butt, stayed late, took on extra projects, trained new hires. My team was great mostly. My managers, though, that's another story. I was constantly overlooked, passed over for promotions, even when I was more qualified than the person they hired. My ideas were routinely ignored, only to be discovered by a male colleague a few weeks later and praised as genius. I'd try to speak up in meetings and get interrupted, or my points would be glossed over. I finally realized it wasn't just me being paranoid. It was a pattern, a toxic one. I reached my breaking point about 3 months ago. I just finished a huge project that I spearheaded single-handedly, which brought in a major new client. My reward: a pat on the back and an email saying, "Great job," from my manager, while the team leader, who did virtually nothing, got a bonus and a public shout-out. That was it. I decided then and there I was done. I started quietly looking for other jobs, didn't tell a soul at work. I interviewed, got an offer, and accepted it. It was a fantastic offer with a company that actually values its employees and, crucially, promotes based on merit. When I handed in my 2 weeks' notice, my manager, Mark, looked genuinely surprised, like shocked. "What? Why?" he asked, completely bewildered. I gave him a very vague, professional spiel about seeking new opportunities and growth. He just nodded, looking confused. I made sure to stay vague, to not let any of my simmering resentment show. I was done with giving them anything. My last day rolled around. The day before, a junior colleague, Sarah, whom I'd mentored and genuinely liked, came up to me, looking a little awkward. "Hey," she said, "we're putting a little something together for you at lunch tomorrow. A farewell, cupcakes and a card." My stomach clenched. A farewell party. After 7 years of being invisible, of having my contributions minimized, of being treated like an afterthought, they were going to get me some store-bought cupcakes and a generic card. It felt like a slap in the face, a performative gesture that meant absolutely nothing. It just highlighted how little they actually cared about me or recognized my actual value. It wasn't even a party, just a sad little gathering in the break room. "Oh, that's sweet," I said, trying to sound appreciative. "But actually, I won't be able to make it. I have some personal appointments I need to get to right after I finish up." Sarah looked disappointed. "Oh, okay. Well, we'll miss you." My actual last day, I packed up my desk quietly, said goodbye to Sarah and a couple other colleagues I genuinely liked. I walked out exactly at 5 p.m., just like any other day. No fanfare, no farewell committee, no forced pleasantries over stale cupcakes. I didn't even pick up the card, I just left, in silence. A few days later, Sarah texted me, "Everyone was really bummed you missed your farewell. Mark even said he felt bad." Bad. He felt bad. The irony. Part of me feels guilty for not giving them the closure of that farewell party, for not letting them pretend they cared more than they did. But another part of me feels a fierce satisfaction. I knew my worth. I didn't owe them anything. My departure was as understated as my presence had been. Is leaving in silence more powerful, or just more invisible? Am I wrong for quitting my job in silence and then refusing to attend my own farewell party after being constantly overlooked and disrespected for years? Commenter 1 said, "Her pain deserved recognition, not recycled cupcakes." Commenter 2 said, "Quitting without saying anything, that team will never understand what they did." Commenter 3 said, "It's not about the party, it's about what they didn't say." Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video from us. We'll see you in the next one.